Well, knights in armor coming, saying something about a queen. There were peasants singing and summers drumming, and the archers split the tree. There was a fanfare blowing to the sun that was floating on the breeze. Look at Mother Nature on the run in the 1970s. Look at Mother Nature on the run in the 1970s. I was lying in a burned out basement with the full moon in my eyes. I was hoping for replacement when the sun burst through the sky. There was a band playing in my head, and I felt like getting high. I was thinking about what a friend had said. I was hoping it was a lie. Thinking about what a friend had said. I was hoping it was a lie. Well, I dreamed I saw the silver spaceships in the yellow haze of the sun. There were children crying and drummers flying all around the chosen one. All in a dream, all in a dream. The loading had begun. Flying Mother Nature's silver sea to a new home in the sun. Flying Mother Nature's silver sea to a new home. All right, thank you. Lighting, which are printed in your leaflet. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, Spirit of freedom. And now we're going to hear a familiar song, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In, but we've got a special, are we going to do a special space age arrangement of that today?
Oh, next time.
Next time.
Okay,
all right.
Next time.
All right, but here is Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. That's 361 in your hymnal.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Our reading for this morning is not a responsive reading, unless you happen to know this really well. But I'd like to share with you, this is a song lyric from the Stevie Wonder song Saturn, from Stevie Wonder's classic double album, Songs in the Key of Life, I think 1976. But I'd like to share this with you as an expression of part of the human search, part of the human imagination, grappling with some of the difficulties, some of the problems in our world, and using another world, a fantasy world, in this case, a race on the planet Saturn, as a way of thinking about how things could be different here. Packing my bags, going away to a place where the air is clean. On Saturn, there's no sense to sit around and watch people die. We don't fight our wars the way you do. We put back all of the things we use. On Saturn, there's no sense in doing such crimes. There's no principles in what you say, no direction in the things you do, for your world is soon to come to a close. Through the ages, all great men have taught truth and happiness just can't be bought or sold. Tell me, why are you people so cold? I'm going back to Saturn, where the rings all glow, rainbow, moonbeams, and orange snow. On Saturn, people live to be 205. Going back to Saturn, where the people smile. They don't need cars, because we've learned to fly. On Saturn, just to live, for us, is our natural high. We have come here many times before to find your strategy to peace is war. Killing helpless men, women, and children that don't even know what they are dying for. We can't trust you when you take a stand with a gun and a Bible in your hand, and the cold expression on your face saying, give us what we want or we will destroy. I'm going back to Saturn, where the rings all glow, rainbow moonbeams and orange snow. On Saturn, people live to be 205. Going back to Saturn, where the people smile, or we don't need cars because we've learned to fly. On Saturn, just to live is the natural high. Peter, would you like to lead us in honoring joys and sorrows?
As most of you are aware, we take a few minutes out of each Sunday morning service to specifically offer everybody here and even people on the Zoom the opportunity of sharing a particular personal high or a particular personal low that you have. It's well known, I think, that doing either of those enhances or makes better the sorrow that you may have, or better the joy that you may have. Well, I don't know why that's the case, but it does seem to be. So I'm going to give you a minute right now to silently contemplate, meditate, do whatever you wish, but think about a particular high or personal joy of a personal joy, or a low of a personal non-joy that you might choose to share with us. So now, if anybody has discovered something they'd like to share, this is the time to do it. Come forth, please, and use the microphone so everybody can hear you. And if you choose, you may take a candle and light it, or put it in the baptismal font and light it. So has anybody got one right now that they'd like to share?
Good morning. I was thinking as I was listening to the music, can I sing this one song? When the moon is in the seventh house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then space will guide the planets and love will steer the stars. And I wanted to express my joy because of my mother exposing me to the arts at such a young age, and I've just grown to love theater so much because of that. I'm going to see a show after this called Merrily We Roll Along, which is the songbook of Stephen Sondheim, down at, I think it's Second Generation Theater downtown, one of the smaller theaters. So I'm really blessed that I'm in a program called Art Access Program. I'm just putting that out there because if you have a food stamp card, an EBT card, you can get into this program and go to get tickets to all these shows. So that's just another joy that I have. Thank you.
Joan Davis, as most of you know, had surgery on Monday. It was a little more complicated than they thought. So she ended up going to rehab, which she hadn't really expected, but I think it was probably good. But she hated rehab, as anybody who's ever been to it hates it. So she's back home, and we're hoping we'll see her pretty soon. But she's back home, and I haven't talked to her since she got there. Well, we've been texting, but she seems like she's doing way better. So that's a joy for all of us.
Anyone else?
I would just like to say I have found 3 4-leaf clovers in the last week.
To bring us back to Mother's Day, I was sitting here thinking, I can remember sitting in these very same chairs over that way with children crawling over me and making noises in the back and having Hans Pop answer them, which he shouldn't have done. And today, they're all over 60, and they've remembered me on Mother's Day, so that was good.
Anybody else have a joy or a sorrow that you'd like to share with us this morning? Are there any from Zoom? Anybody on Zoom? Okay. Is it? Okay. If not, I'll light one last candle for some joys or sorrows that haven't been expressed out loud. And then we'll have an offertory played by Patty, I assume. And we'll take up a collection.
live happily ever after. So the story goes that somehow we missed out on the pot goes. But we'll try best that we can to gathering angels appear overhead. They sang to me this song of love, and this is what they said. They say, come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me. Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me. Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away. I hope that they were angels, attached to us and rise. We couldn't afford a starship and heading for come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me. Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away. Catch you with
Try it.
Spirit of light, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Long and glorious, light in the sea. Moving high, living one shape of time.
So, what we're gonna do is this. I can do Space Oddity. It's kind of a down. I don't know if we want to do Space Oddity. What? Okay, all right. Well then, yes, I will. I'll play Space Oddity. This is a song by David Bowie from 1967. Yeah, if you know the words, please join in. I do my best with this. Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Wait a minute, no. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. Ground control to Major Tom. Commencing countdown, engines on. Check ignition and may God's love be with you. This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade. And the papers want to know whose shirt you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door. And I'm floating in a most peculiar way. Now the stars feel very different today. For here am I sitting in my tin can, far above the world. Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do. Though I've passed 100,000 miles, I'm feeling very still. And I think my spaceship knows which way to go. Tell my wife I love her very much, she knows. For here am I floating around my tin can, far above the moon. Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do. All right. Yeah, this is what a song looks like to me. It's just some letters on an index card, and then I try to very end of the song, there's this other twist that what he thought was some angels from some other sacred dimension turn out to be extraterrestrials from somewhere in outer space, but they continue with this message that answers exist. Answers exist somewhere, even if we can't see them around us, and even if we can't find them within ourselves, the answers exist somewhere. And this really gets me thinking, because here we are a Unitarian congregation.
Is your mic on, John?
It was a little bit creaky, but yes, now it's on. And that we, as Unitarian Universalists, we have such a wide range to draw from in terms of looking for answers in here, looking for answers in ourselves, that human part of ourselves, really that part of ourselves that it's very difficult to verbalize, but where we look for that truth inside. But we also have access to this vast well of scripture and spiritual seekings in all of these religious traditions of the world throughout history, which means that we also have the option that our search for answers can continue into some of the great texts and some of the great thoughts and some of the great visions of spiritualists and religious people in these different faith traditions. And now today, we're going to be talking about some of those answers from some of those other places, because there is that other well of knowledge that exists in what we would call science fiction and ideas, different thoughts about could there be intelligent life elsewhere in the galaxy, and what might that intelligence be, and what are some of the ways that we as human beings on the planet Earth could benefit from some of that intelligence. So I encourage you, this is going to be an interactive thing in a minute. I encourage you to think about this. Is there some alien or some alien species from any book you've read or a movie or a television show or a comic book or anywhere that you may have encountered? Of all of the aliens that you have encountered in entertainment, is there one that comes to mind that has something to teach us that you kind of wish that you could spend some time with and learn from? And to get us started, I'm going to share an example. One of my favorite alien species in literature is in Kurt Vonnegut's novel Slaughterhouse-Five, in which there is an alien race called the Tralfamadorians, where if you could, and where they exist in 3 dimensions, plus this 4th dimension of time. And Kurt Vonnegut tells us that if you could see a Tralfamadorian, they would look kind of like a centipede, because they exist simultaneously in every single moment of their lives. And these Tralfamadorians, therefore, are able to see themselves at any moment in their lives. They can see that moment in relation to every moment that they have ever lived, and also in relation to every moment that they will live. And this gives the Tralfamadorians a special perspective, because they don't have fear about the future, and they don't have anxiety about death, because they can just say, I am here in this moment. I have always been here. I have always existed in this moment, and I will always exist in this moment. And I can see myself in this moment, and I can see how this moment relates to all of the moments of the past and all of the moments of the future. And I don't know about you all, but I live in constant uncertainty about my future, and I'm always wondering, this moment, how does this moment fit into the story of my life? And will the story of my life be over tomorrow, in which case this is one of the final culmination moments? Will the story of my life continue for another 60 years, in which case this is one of the earlier moments, one of the preparation moments, and that is something that I do not know and that we do not know. So that's an example from my personal encounter with a science fiction species. So now I encourage you all to think about this. Is there some alien encounter that you have, alien species that you have encountered in your reading or viewing? And not just what is it that makes this alien so interesting to you, but also what do you think the message is that the creator, the author, might have been trying to share with us about what it means to be a human being on the planet Earth? So please, a moment, and then you're welcome to come up and share. I'm going to clip my microphone up here so that when you come up, it'll just be right there for you.
I always have to start, even though I have nothing to say. So here's what I'll say. I'm not really into Martians or anything. However, I not too long ago read War of the Worlds, and it was really creepy about these people came and they were trying to do harm to everybody in England, of all places, where no one would want to have any harm. But it was creepy. But the Martian, or the extraterrestrials that we really see on TV are Alf, Mork from Ork, my favorite Martian, whoever he was, but they're kind and they're helpful, and if we ever have any real ETs that come here, I hope that's who they'll be and not the guys from the War of the Worlds. So I think our extraterrestrials should be kind and sweet and funny, and I hope they actually don't come, but they really won't anyway because they're too far away.
Like I'm getting up here a lot. Of course, we just listened to Space Oddity, and of course I thought of David Bowie, who I'm a fanatic about. Got to see him in Syracuse, God rest his soul. Was thinking of Ziggy Stardust, another alien that David Bowie had devised of, and he used to wear this incredible makeup on stage, and then he morphed into other characters like the Thin White Duke and so forth. So I just wanted to share that, one of my favorite aliens.
The man who fell to earth.
The boy who fell to earth? Mm-hmm.
And I guess, I can't remember all the names of the characters, and I don't even remember whether it's Marvel or DC. It's probably a bit of both. I love the Flash, Supergirl, and they all conglomerate in like a multiverse, and they're able to bilocate and trilocate. I think that's just super cool.
I have two. The first one is E.T. That was the first movie I ever took my son to when he was 2 years old, and he was absolutely transfixed. And E.T. was
just a wonderful alien, a very strange looking alien, but a very kind alien. And then my other favorite one, also linked to my son, is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where we are just in the way of an intergalactic superhighway that they want to put through, and the entire thing is trying to figure out how to stop this superhighway from it. That is what I think really aliens are like.
I read this book so many years ago that I can barely remember much about it. I don't remember the name of the character, but the book was Stranger in a Strange Land. And the stranger comes down and he is a very idealistic being in that he doesn't understand lying. He says, why would you say the thing that is not, or something like that? And there's a connection with other people whereby you can understand them, and that's called grokking. Anyone familiar with this? This goes back in time. And I just remember at the time I was, younger. And so I had these idealistic ideas about how the world could be, and this really appealed to me.
I came up with this one in the car. Sorry, I had a little bit of preparation time more than everybody else, but I was thinking a lot about actually, funnily enough, the Mary Poppins story of a mystical strange lady that appears from the skies and releases this like disheveled old banker type from a prison of his own making and a hell of his own making, and also sort of releases his kids from the drudgery of living with a banker. And kind of this idea of like, well, kind of like all of us maybe sometimes feel like we're trapped in things, and sometimes it feels like in alien stories from the past, it's sort of like, yeah, well, but how could they help us get out of our own world, I guess you could say, from their own world and stuff like that. So thank you.
Well, I'm going to light one more candle for all of the aliens that we didn't talk about this Mother's Day. No, I'm kidding. All right, well, I really appreciate that we're willing to share about this, because I think I think this is a really interesting way. Some people, there are some people that think that that religion is all made up, and that it's all and hopefully with good intentions, creating supernatural beings who can somehow rescue us or help us to sort out our problems. And I think that there's a lot to be learned from that, but I also think that there are non-religious people who have come up with this other way of thinking and saying, oh, well, if that's the game, if we're going to make up supernatural beings to give us guidance or rescue, then let's do that, and let's just say that they really are from the skies. So I'm glad that we were able to come up with and share some examples of, some of the influential aliens in our lives. We're going to do another sing-along. I'm going to see if I can make this one work. Is this one going to be me? Yeah. All right. I sat down at the piano yesterday to see if I could figure this out. But if I don't find my index card, then there's just no way. All right. Sorry. And once again, you are most welcome to sing along if you know this song, even if it sounds entirely unfamiliar in this key. This is kind of what I think Rocket Man would sound like if I tried to play it on the piano. She packed my bags last night, pre-flight, 0 hour, 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high as a kite by then. I miss the earth so much, I miss my wife. It's lonely out in space on such a timeless flight. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. The touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, 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 I'm a rocket man. Rocket man, burning out his fuse up here alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. The touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, 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 I'm a rocket man. Rocket man, burning out his fuse up here alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. Do we have any announcements today? Well, I'm excited to. Oh yes, please.
Next week, the 15th, is I believe it's our annual meeting. Right. So we hope everybody will be here. The meeting doesn't usually take very long, and we need everybody here for a quorum. So please come, and you may have something important you need to vote on. So please be here for next week.
And I'm excited to announce that at 12:30, I'm going to be teaching an adult education session. And this is going to be about the development of rabbinic Judaism. We're going to look at the transition from the temple Judaism of 2,000 years ago, and then how we get from that to modern Judaism and rabbis and the religion that's more familiar to us today. So I encourage you after coffee hour, which is going to be coffee 33 minutes, to join us back up here for that. Please join me for the words of extinguishing the chalice. They're printed inside of your leaflet. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Carry on, my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head All this time we see a blue motion. Lost the road like I'm a ship on the ocean.